Jesus Christ, really?
Don't forget to become a member of Unrelent Gaming's Patreon for exclusive manga content and early access. Isn't that right, Seth?
I already joined his Patreon today. Tons of great stuff on there, actually. But did you really have to blow up the city?
Yes.
Blew up the domino. You blew up the dominoes, and you're laughing. Do you realize the f***ing crisis here?
And you will be next. Unless you subscribe, like the video, and turn on notifications right now.
Or else what? You'll aggressively scream another man's name for several hours?
Kakarot! Kakarot!
Well, this was certainly a very unexpected turn of events, but now that the decision has been made, it's time for you to face the demons that have haunted you for many years. It'll be a battle like no other, especially with everything that's on the line. The clash that awaits us will test not only the physical prowess of our heroes, but also their unwavering resolve and indomitable spirit. But let it be known that the consequences if you fail will be extremely dire, as the repercussions would reverberate throughout the cosmos, casting a pall of darkness upon all that we hold dear if you are not successful.
As our story now continues following the events of Goku being shown having to use his lifeline and calling Vegeta into the tournament realm, as with the others now pondering on what exactly is about to come next, it was only upon Yoshido now being shown addressing Akuma was when Yoshido then went on to respond, "Say, do you happen to notice anything unusual coming from that other Saiyan that was just brought here? Is it me, or does the energy that I sense coming from him identical to that of a god of destruction, Akuma? This power and form that he is wielding is very different compared to this Saiyan who we've been fighting," with Akuma responding, "That's because it is. He appears to have destroyer energy that's coursing through him somehow," as Vegeta from that point had then gone as far as to now address Goku by then shouting, "Oh, do you have any idea what you've done? You better start talking right now, Kakarot! Where the hell am I, and why was I just suddenly brought here during the middle of something very important that I was taking care of? And who is that standing behind you? One of the 5 strongest? I demand answers from you immediately," Vegeta went on to then continue. "Who was the one that made the call to bring me here, and how the hell do I go back? This is not the time nor the place for me to be," as Takira then went on to address Vegeta by then responding, "You were selected by Son Goku and brought here by the Grand Minister as a means of joining the Saiyan in battle to fight against me. I am Takira, and I am the 2nd strongest warrior in the entire multiverse," Takira continues. "You, Vegeta, were handpicked by Son Goku to aid him in battle after your universe's god of destruction, Lord Beerus, had declined his offer to fight me as a team." Oh, wait a second here. You're meaning to tell me that I was brought here to help Kakarot beat you? You've got to be kidding me. And so what are my options here? Am I going to be forced against my will to help Kakarot if I say no? Correct, Takira responds. However, you are free to either choose to accept or deny this request made by Goku, as you have free range to either stay or leave if that is your choice, to which upon Vegeta now being shown grabbing onto Goku by the shirt, it was only just upon with Vegeta being shown getting in Goku's face where Vegeta from that point then went on to shout, "Then I decline, Kakarot! Do you not have the slightest idea on just what the hell is happening back on Earth? There's a reason on why I'm using this new form of mine, and that's because Frieza decided to attack our planet. And what's worse is that he isn't alone," Vegeta continues. continues. He was somehow able to find a way to track down his brother Cooler, and now they're both on Earth alone after I tried to stop them, you idiots. But it doesn't end there either, because just when I was about to finally destroy them both for good, they were somehow able to get their hands on a pair of Potara earrings and fused. Gohan and the others are helpless to do anything to fight back, Kakarot. Which means that without me there to stop them, Earth along with the entire universe is defenseless to do anything to stop them both from taking over. Wait, what? Goku went on to respond, Frieza's back and he brought his brother along with him? And you're saying they fused too? But what about the others? Was this all happening while I was in this realm battling against the 5 strongest? Yes, more than likely, and so I must go back before it's too late. Oh, damn it, how foolish of you to bring me here without knowing. Oh, Frieza has been training with his brother this entire time. They are nothing like you imagined they would be, especially with them both taking a serum that also happens to have our DNA inside of it. Frieza had been planning this the entire time, you clown. And so you can have your fight with the mightiest in the multiverse, but I'm going back. There's no telling on how much time is left before they destroy the planet, and so I'm not going to risk it, understand? But Vegeta, I just didn't know about any of this, Goku responds. I thought Frieza had left us all alone a long time ago. Nobody ever would have expected for any of this to happen from out of nowhere. Oh, if I only knew, then I would have been down on Earth with you to face them, but I just didn't know. Oh, you Saiyans are absolutely unbearable, Budo then went on to surprisingly chime in. The fate of your planet is none of our concern, mortal. If you are going to join your friend to battle against us, then hurry up and fight, because if you choose to decline, then quit wasting our time and go back to your universe. There are more important matters that we have to handle here, and so unless you want to be turned into an example like your comrade here was, then get out of this realm and stop stalling for time, Saiyan. Then why don't you try and come down here and force me out, fool? I don't care about who you are or what your title among the 5 strongest are, Vegeta went on to then continue. Either mind your own damn business or come down here and do something about it. This is between me and Kakarot, so shut your mouth up there or I'll shut it for you. This lunatic cannot possibly be serious now, is he? Akuma then went on to question. How dare you speak to us in such a disrespectful tone, you barbarian? Oh, so you want to die early then, do you? Budo then went on to quickly respond by standing back up. Fine, then let's do this. Enough, the Grand Priest went on to quickly intervene. You will not leave your throne. I will not have you cause any more trouble among those who are in the ring, Budo. You are to remain where you are and control your anger and allow them to be as they decide. Now stay. Gross, I will not be forced against my will to compete in something that requires my attention elsewhere, Kakarot. Our families and friends are all alone on Earth with no one to help them fight, and I will not, by any means, simply just allow for Frieza to have his way with any of them. Interesting. Well, is this true, Lord Beerus? Whis went on to then question. Were you able to sense Vegeta's battle on Earth against Frieza and his brother this entire time? Well, I don't know, Whis. As soon as Vegeta left my planet, I went along ahead to take a nap, Beerus responds. This is just terrible, Goku then went on to comment. And if I only knew that Frieza would go as far as to do this, then I would have just tried to postpone this tournament and just help Vegeta stop Frieza and his brother instead. Oh, he really pulled a fast one on us this time. And to also surprise us by using fusion as well. But just how in the world was Frieza even able to get his hands on a pair of Potara earrings like that? And what exactly is he truly planning that he has yet to reveal while returning? Well, you do as you want, but I'm leaving, Vegeta responds, and if you were smart enough, then you'd agree to come back too. But even then, I'm not going to stand here and wait for you to try and make up your mind. Hey, Grand Minister, Vegeta shouts. As much as I would love to fight against the top 5 strongest, I declined Kakarot's request to have me help him and ask if you would send me back to Earth, with the Grand Priest responding, goodness, well, this doesn't appear to be your lucky day after all, eh, Son Goku? But very well then. Do you wish to be sent back right now? I cannot undo do your request to leave if you choose to want to go back, and so I will only ask you this once. Are you sure about your decision? With Vegeta responding, I am. Now is not the time for me to waste on anything other than what is taking place on Earth right now, so my answer is final. Now take me back. Well, as you wish then, Vegeta. And what about you, Goku? You appear to be troubled by what Vegeta had told you involving the circumstances back on Earth. Your spirit appears to have been shaken and your focus has now shifted. What exactly is on your mind now that the news of Frieza's invasion has been broken to you, the Grand Priest questions? Do you perhaps also wish to go back to Earth too? I'm beginning to question on whether or not you are in the right state of mind to continue this tournament, the Grand Priest continues. Or maybe you wish to still continue after Vegeta is sent back home. So tell me, because you look like you have something to say, with Goku responding, well, I'd be lying if I said that my head wasn't fully in the game right now, but I can't help but feel guilty for not being there back on Earth to defend everyone from Frieza's wrath. So I'm kind of stuck right now on what I should do, because I just can't let Vegeta go back there and risk his life fighting them while he's all by himself. So I would feel as though it would be best if I did go back, with Akuma then having to chime in. Surely you can't be serious in possibly allowing for him to actually go back despite being in the middle of a tournament, now do you, Grand Minister? We were never summoned to fight him, only for him to blow us all off to handle other affairs. So if, and only if, he chooses to want to leave, then he must be held responsible for the actions that he chooses to take and be held accountable. Yeah, I agree with Akuma on the matter, Yoshida went on to quickly respond. The mortal shouldn't be allowed to just be given free range to do as he pleases, with the Grand Priest responding, and therefore I am already well aware of such outcomes and am prepared to deal with the situation impartially. Then if that's the case, Takira went on to address Goku by telling him, then it's better if you go back and handle your business back on Earth and leave the rest for later. Go on and do this so that I may resume my fight with you while you're at your best and not distracted by outside issues. And if what your ally said is truly affecting your ability to fight, then go and figure it out so that way you are focused, with the surprised Goku responding, wait, so you really think it'll be for the best if I just go back with Vegeta to stop them? But what about you and the others who are here with us? What about the tournament itself? What would you do in the meantime? With Takira responding, if it means having you fight at your absolute best without having anything hinder on your ability to use that angel form of yours again, then go back to your planet if you need to and do whatever it is that the two of you must in order to better your overall situation before fighting me again. It's painfully clear that without that angel form, you aren't going to beat me. And unless you have Vegeta agree to fight me right now or call for someone else who will agree to face me, then you are hereby left without any other options, Son Goku, so it would be for the better if you go, with Goku responding, well, I really can't think of calling anyone else who would come close and even remotely matching you in power, so unless I'm now stuck here and forced to finish this, then Vegeta was my one and only best bet here, so yeah, I am all out of options. But if I do end up going, then what would this mean for us moving forward? Would the Grand Priest pause the entire tournament until I return? Well, that you will have to go and speak to him directly about, but either way, Takira continues, if it means that I can fight you again without having anything else get in the way of your focus towards fighting me, then I will wait alongside with the others until you have sorted out your issues with Vegeta back on Earth. I'm not the one who makes the rules here, but I will wait if needed, with Goku responding, well, I really appreciate that, Takira, especially if you're willing to offer me another chance to fight by letting me go and sort this issue out back home with Vegeta. Girl, so you're meaning to tell me that this idiot's brought me all the way out here just so he can want to go back to Earth? Girl, why you, Beerus says, with Whis responding, Your Majesty, does this mean that you will allow for Son Goku to head back to Earth in order for him and Vegeta to take care of the problem at hand? It was as Goku had put it, what does this mean for the tournament if he chooses to want to go and leave with Vegeta now? With the Grand Priest responding, then it simply means that he's made his decision. After all, what does a tournament mean if one of its main competitors leaves during the finals, the Grand Priest questions? Then it means the tournament is over, is it not? But we'll see what Goku chooses to do, as I'm sure he knows that deep down on what decision he will want to go and make. So now then, I will grant your request to leave and go back to Earth now, Vegeta. Vegeta, but how about you, Goku? You do understand the consequences behind your actions if you choose to leave the tournament now, do you? So what will you choose to do, the Grand Priest went on to then ask. Do you choose to remain here and continue with the tournament as your battle with Takiro resumes, or do you wish to go back to Earth and join Vegeta as you both face off against Frieza and his brother's fusion instead? I need an answer from you right now, with Primal Goku responding, well, as much as I would love to continue, I just can't let Vegeta go and do this by himself like this. And with Frieza bringing his brother on Earth and having them fuse like this only just means that I have a duty to be there on Earth and help everyone during their time of need. So my request is that you please send me back with Vegeta so that we may finish what Frieza and his brother started back on Earth. And as I'm only then hoping that we can resume right after, with the Grand Priest responding, very well then, you have made your decision, as I will send you both back to Earth immediately. However, I am rather very intrigued to see how the two of you will go and engage against such a threat, and so therefore, I have an idea which I believe will be a very good one indeed, and so now let's just see how this goes. Off we go, in which all the while with the Grand Priest now being shown having to snap his fingers when then going back onto planet Earth and seeing as to how coolezia was now creating a gigantic supernova above him, it had only now become fairly evident that coolezia was now looking forward in destroying everything, as coolezia then went on to respond, did that pathetic Saiyan really believe that he could just disappear and leave our battle so suddenly without me having anything to say about the matter? I warned that god monkey on what would happen if he pushed me too far. I tried warning that little worm that I would rip everything away from him and leave him with nothing to salvage behind, and that is exactly what I'm about to do, whether he's here to do anything about it or not. I'm done playing around, coolezia continues. Everything that Barbarian knows and loves will be eradicated without a trace of any of it to be left behind in the process. No one will survive and it'll all be vaporized within an instant. I am both the Alpha and the Omega, the beginning and the end of all living things in this universe. Gohan, I can barely move, Piccolo went on to wake up by addressing Gohan. Where's Vegeta? I don't sense his life energy anywhere. Did he die? I don't know what happened to him, Gohan then went on to respond by crawling towards Piccolo. He just vanished during the middle of his fight with that monster, so we have to try and do something to stop him before it's all too late. I wait for no one, coolezia went on to utter. My reign as the king of all starts now. This is where everything you've all had known dies, coolezia then shouts. I am far beyond this world and the life forms on it. Now disappear within the light of my power. To which upon coolezia now being shown throwing his supernova down, it was only just upon with coolezia now preparing himself and wiping out the entire planet was when coolezia then went on to continue. Now let's see the planet that you find yourself coming back onto once it's all been destroyed. But then it was only just upon with coolezia now beginning to sense something very unusual coming from his blast was when coolezia went on to continue. Wait, why did it stop? As a massive wind gust was now being shown having to emanate right towards his direction was when coolezia went on to continue. That's impossible! There's something pushing it back, and it's rapidly approaching. It couldn't have been anyone else who is strong enough to push this ball of energy right back up towards me. To which upon coolezia now being shown having to once again push back was when coolezia then went on to continue. As if you think sending my own attack back at me will do you any good. This is my attack, and I am the one who is in complete control of this, not you. In which the moment coolezia was then shown having to send his attack right back down, only for it to be shown stopping yet again, was when coolezia went on to question, wait, my attack just collided against something before it hit the ground. As lo and behold, surprisingly enough to the shock of coolezia and everyone on Earth, we only from that point then see how it was in fact the Grand Priest that had gone as far as to stop coolezia supernova, as Beerus went on to chime in, well, would you look at that, Whis? Vegeta was indeed telling the truth about these monsters. So Frieza was actually able to find a way to use the Potaras and fuse with his brother. here. What a complete abomination, with the Grand Priest responding, though I understand your intent for this wasn't really meant to be directed towards any of us, but you should really watch on where you're redirecting these attacks of yours if you wish to not start a fight that you possibly cannot finish, Fusion. The Destroyer Beerus and his angel, coolezia questions, and just what are they doing here? And that one there in the middle, I remember him. That's the Grand Priest, isn't it? But they aren't the only ones who are here, coolezia continues, because now I'm starting to sense others here with them too. To which, as of course this was now the case, because with Whis, Beerus, the Grand Priest, Budo, Akuma, Takira, and Yoshido now shown having to arrive on Earth, it was only just as the Grand Priest was now shown having to vaporize coolezia attack where Akuma then went on to chime in. So this was the creature that had been troubling these Saiyans. There is something very unusual about their power that I can feel coursing through that body of his up there. And for a mortal Fusion, the energy that I sense coming from them is fairly impressive, Akuma continues, but nothing compared to our power, of course, to say the least, with Yoshido responding, indeed, but what do you all think? Do you think this Fusion is stronger than the miracle mortal that we were just fighting against? I doubt it, Takira responds, but we will wait and see what comes, with Budo responding, now I remember that name. While looking into Goku's history for me to use against him, I remember seeing how big of a problem this creature was towards them, in which upon coolezia now being shown having to gaze back down and noticing two separate individuals below, that was when coolezia went on to respond, I knew there would be more of them, but what's that down there? Wait, is that where Vegeta went to? Did he really leave and bring him here? Could it really be them? Oh, but it is. It really is, coolezia continues. Vegeta is back and he's with Son Goku. To which in all their glory as Primal Ultra Instinct Goku and Mastered Ultra Ego Vegeta are now shown standing side by side. It was only soon after, right, having to initially deflect Coolesia's blast from hitting the earth was when Yoshido went on to respond, oh, now this ought to be good then, and since we already know what one of them is capable of since we were right in the middle of fighting him just now, I'm actually starting to get very excited to see what the other one with the purple hair is capable of too. And with the two of them now looking to engage against this Fusion by themselves, does anyone here want to make any wagers on which one of these two between the Saiyans and the Fusion is going to come out victorious here, or what? We'll reserve our stances on which one of them will emerge victorious in the end, Akuma quickly responds. I'm more interested to see how these Saiyan warriors are when it comes to fighting as one. And since we've already seen what the mortal Goku is made of, I wonder if his ally next to him, Vegeta, is also just as strong as his Saiyan friend there next to him. Either way, what do you think, Takira? With Takira responding, I see a great conflict between these warriors, but pay attention to that fusion, with Goku then having to respond, so that's their fusion, huh? Wow, their power is incredible. So, you said they took these serums that had a bunch of our DNA in it that would give them a boost, right? With Vegeta responding, yes, and so they are also able to use our very own attacks and techniques against us in battle too, with Coolezia then having to chime on down by responding, well, so it looks like the gang is all here. And you went and brought Goku here to die along with you. Well, greetings, monkey. It's been so long since we've seen one another. Yes, what are the odds that the two of you would be here at this exact place and within this exact same time too? And is that really you down there, Goku? My oh my, you appear to have discovered a new transformation as well, I see. How interesting. Well, what a way to slaughter two annoying monkeys than by using one stone to do it now that my chance is finally here. So what's the plan here? Because you'd know more about their power than I would, Goku went on to then address Vegeta by telling him. So what are we dealing with here, Vegeta? Should we just go in there and attack them head on, or wait? With Vegeta responding, he's a lot stronger than he's letting off, so don't let him bait you into thinking otherwise. He's extremely sharp, Vegeta says. There might be a way for us to obliterate him another way if our conventional attacks fail to stop him, so whatever happens, keep your eyes locked on him. To which upon Coolezia now being shown having to power up even more, that was when Coolezia went on to then shout, of all the chances in the world that I could have foreseen, I will not waste a single moment of this opportunity to destroy you both here and now. A especially now that the two of you are here and vulnerable. I will complete my mission. Now prepare to finally meet your end by the hands of the most powerful being in the entire universe. And I promise that this time, neither one of you will have the chance to escape me now that you're both here with me. Now let us finally put an end to our story for good. To which upon the moment of impact, as coolezia was from that point then shown having to collide into Goku and Vegeta, that was when Beerus went on to chime in. Nah, I don't like this, Whis, though I know I shouldn't be concerned, especially since I know that my student can hold his own down there. What exactly did Frieza and that brother of his that he's fused with do to alter themselves before coming here? With Whis responding, well, it sounds like Frieza had been carefully training and watching our friends very closely down there for quite some time. Of course, given all that Vegeta had said in order to have Frieza be where he is now, I'm afraid that Frieza went and took any and all possible measures that he could get his hands on in order for him to become the strongest that he could possibly be, Whis went on to then continue. And since you weren't around to see what Goku is capable of, I have no doubt that Vegeta and Goku will emerge as the winners by the end, with the Grand Priest responding, well, these Saiyan warriors certainly love a good battle now, don't they? And it's quite fascinating if you ask me, but we will wait and see how the two of them will respond against such an interesting and yet very powerful enemy in this coolezia, with Beerus chiming in, well, now I'm starting to see why Vegeta was so distracted the entire time that he was training on my planet. He was able to sense something more that was coming from Frieza, to which upon coolezia now being shown attacking both Goku and Vegeta, it was only just as coolezia went on an unrelenting pursuit in attacking them both was when coolezia then went on to respond, the two of you couldn't possibly understand what the two of us had to go through in order to have this day finally happen and lean towards our favor. And though the two of you may have reached new levels of power, it still won't be enough to destroy me. To which upon coolezia now being shown attempting to strike Primal Ultra Instinct Goku, with Goku now shown vanishing, that was when Goku went on to respond, you are in way over your head if you honestly think that your fusion will be what finally takes us out. We've battled against fusions before, to which upon Goku now being shown striking coolezia, that's when Goku went on to continue, and you're no different than the ones we've battled with before. And you're even more insane to believe that you could rival our power too. You will never be given the chance to destroy what me and Vegeta have fought so hard for to protect. Now Vegeta, he's disoriented and wide open. To which upon Master the Ultra Ego Vegeta now being shown making his move in attacking coolezia, that's when Vegeta went on to comment, tell me now, did you feel that one, you cowards? You should have kept your distance and taken your chance to leave this planet the moment you saw me return with this clown next to me. You and I are far from finished, and I want to see you spit out more blood as I punch your organs out. Mark my words, like I told you earlier, one way or another, I will find a way to tear you both apart. Hey, these two actually work quite well with one another, now don't they? Yoshido then went on to question, in which upon Vegeta now being shown having to punch coolezia right towards Goku's direction, that was when Vegeta then went on to shout, Kakarot, on you! Send him back towards my direction now! Interesting, the way these two are shown moving together when targeting someone is very impressive, Takiro went on to chime in, but this enemy they are facing still holds a few advantages over the Saiyans if they are not careful, but it's obvious to me that this is not the first time that these two were shown fighting someone like this. Oh, you troublesome little monkeys are doomed, coolezia then went on to shout at Goku by dashing towards him. Oh, die, Goku! But then, it was only just before coolezia had the opportunity in making contact where Goku then went on to respond, I don't think so, you monster, to which upon Goku now being shown having to successfully avoid coolezia strike, that was when Budo went on to chime in, despite my burning desire to jump on down there and destroy them both, especially Son Goku for robbing me of victory during our battle, I will admit that the Saiyans' tactics are slowly working. Their synchronized movements are starting to distract and hurt this fusion while he's still trying to go after them both at the exact same time. And I cannot believe that you'd come back and try to do what you did before despite us letting you live several times over, Goku then went on to tell coolezia, and including watching you spare us on Granola's planet, Frieza. But scum like you will never learn no matter how many chances you are given to try and change. Oh, Vegeta, quickly, he's all yours, Goku then went on to proceed upon having to be shown punching coolezia in the face. Well, be that as it may, and as good as these two happen to work together, Akuma went on to then chime in, they are both still very far from perfect. And that fusion they're fighting appears to be hiding something much more than what meets the eye, that much you can tell just by looking into his eyes. And what makes this entire situation even more interesting, Akuma continues, is the fact that the fusion whom they are both fighting doesn't appear to be getting weaker either, with Beerus chiming in, well, they better not fumble, especially Vegeta, since he's obviously representing me in all of this. Goku I can care less about. The Saiyan warrior who harbors the power of a destroyer reminds me a lot of you, Budo, Takiro went on to then respond. He fights with pride and great conviction similar to you, a warrior who appears to be centered around his will to overcome the odds that are placed before him no matter the cost. Interesting. Oh yeah, right. Me and that destroyer Saiyan have nothing in common for us to be compared to, Budo then went on to respond. But what do you see coming from this fight? You said that you saw a great conflict take place, but it only looks as though the Saiyans are in complete control of the situation below, with Takiro responding, that's because there appears to be a part of that fusion that is letting them, Takiro went on to then respond, and I can only imagine it's because that fusion is looking to adapt and get stronger just like those Saiyans below, with Budo responding, well, either way you want to look at it, they better hurry it up so that we can finally go back and finish that mortal Saiyan off once and for all and be done with everything for good. Say, is anyone else getting itchy feet to want to go down there and jump into? Yoshido then went on to question. Seeing them all fight like this only makes me want a piece of some of that action down there too, you know, with Akuma responding, remain where you are, Yosh. Unless we are directly provoked, then we will watch as they all handle their business below. In which all the while, when then going back to Coolezia, Vegeta, and Goku, it was only upon Coolezia now being shown having to fight back was when Coolezia then went on to shout, oh, did you dirty monkeys really think that I wasn't going to prepare for this very day? I trained for every possible scenario against you both, and so I will not have this battle lean in your favor together or not. I'll use everything that I've been given and learn to annihilate you all. In which moments later, as Coolezia was now shown firing multiple death beams in multiple different directions, that was when Coolezia went on to continue, and even despite your combined attempts, you still can't break through my impenetrable defenses. Your teamwork may have brought us to a standstill, but just remember that I am the harbinger of your ultimate destruction. And I don't care which one of you dies first, because whichever one of you perishes first will be the first head that I use to mount on my wall. To where, interestingly enough, as we only from that point then see how both Goku and Vegeta were now beginning to use two very different methods of approach in countering Coolez's attacks, was when Whis went on to chime in, yes, Goku, just like that, show those who stand to oppose you the true might of your ferocious power. This was the way, as Beerus also went on to chime in, yes, very good, Vegeta, that's the aggression that I was looking for you to maintain in battle. Now keep up this momentum and destroy this fusion. Oh, curse them, Coolezia then went on to respond. They are really starting to get on my bad side with these tactics they're using to survive against me. And I've had it. I cannot leave this world until I make sure that the both of them are lying dead beneath my feet. But it was only just as Vegeta and Goku were now shown slowly having to close on in was when Yoshido went on to respond, uh-oh, and there they go. They're both starting to close in on that purple lizard down there, so I think we're likely going to see this be the end of it, because I don't see this fusion overcoming the might of these two miracle Saiyans. But maybe I'm wrong, and maybe that fusion will do what the mortal did against us during the tournament and surprise us all with something different. He's confused on what to do next, Primal Goku then went on to shout, now's our chance to smash him. Yes, good. Now don't hold anything back and hit him with everything you've got until you start hearing bones break. As this was only the exact moment which Goku and Vegeta had now gone as far as to do this, because upon their initial collision by crashing into Coolezia was when Vegeta then went on to ask, what's wrong, Fusion? Are you starting to doubt your own ability to destroy us or what? I thought this was what you wanted, didn't you? Well, let this be a reminder that even while combined, you could never destroy what we've become, fool. Oh, that's right, Goku then went on to quickly shout. And no matter what you try and use against us, we will never allow for either of you to ever have your way with this planet. Now give up, Goku then went on to continue. Either give up now or you will be destroyed, with coolezia responding, oh, the two of you are really beginning to get under my skin, and I will not have either of you go on and destroy everything that we've worked so very hard for to achieve. Enough is enough, Saiyans! Enough is enough! Your days of interfering with my plans are over, coolezia then went on to blow Goku and Vegeta away by shouting, you both think that you can undermine me? Well, I'll show you the true meaning of terror. Well, it looks like we may have found someone who's even angrier and more unstable than Budo is, huh? Yoshido then went on to ask. Well, talk about losing your cool during the middle of a battle, eh? Oh, don't you ever dare compare me to such a weak creature, Yoshido. The fusion was clearly up to something, so now watch. His energy is starting to spike. Oh, you two have pushed my buttons for the last time. Our story will end with its final chapter being written in both of your blood. You two still have a long way to go if you think you've beaten me, monkeys. And if I only knew that the two of you would achieve and reach new levels of power, then our strategy used against you both would have been very different, but it doesn't matter. You two have yet to experience my true power, and I'm sure that you both already know exactly what this means moving forward. And if you don't, then let me go and remind you little weaklings on exactly who you're both dealing with. So as of course, just like the two of you, I too also have another little secret transformation that I was waiting to use when the time called for it, coolezia continues. And since Cooler and Frieza had evolved themselves into reaching two different levels of power, what you both are about to see happen next is going to be both of their powers combined into one. Now there's no telling on what may happen once I draw this form out and onto the surface, since of course it would be the first time that we had to. Either way, you are both as good as dead and you don't even know it yet, monkeys. So we were right to suspect that they'd have another hidden transformation that he's been holding out on us, Primal Goku then went on to respond. But then what would that mean for their fusion if he's really willing to exert and use up all of that power just to destroy us? I don't like where this is going, Vegeta, as Vegeta from that point then went on to respond by laughing. And do you honestly think that this is supposed to scare us? I told you this before and I will tell you this again. No matter how much you try and destroy me, you will only be helping me by allowing for me to grow stronger and stronger until you run out of gas. So try it. With Takira chiming in, the tides are about to suddenly change in favor of their enemy. And the gap between their power due to whatever modification was made to gain this leverage is about to narrow down nearly to a close between them all. What you both are about to experience will be the last thing that either of you will ever have the chance to see, coolezia then went on to continue. This, my little slaves, is my ultimate and final evolution, with Goku responding, whoa, his energy almost feels like it's boiling over, and I can sense our collective energies coursing in and out of his body, almost like we did when we first encountered and battled Cell. So what do you think, Vegeta? Think we can do this? With Vegeta responding, well, just like Cell, they too will both suffer the same fate that he did. I'm not scared. Let him evolve, but whatever happens, leave them to me in the end. To which upon coolezia now being shown having to power up ever so intensely, that was when Beerus went on to chime in. What the? Hold on, wait a second. Was that fusion truly hiding even more power from the Saiyans that he wasn't letting off this entire time? Through all that damn Frieza, I'm almost certain that this was all his doing, with Whis chiming in. Well, sadly, I'm afraid so. Now, I doubt that whatever this fusion reveals to us will effortlessly destroy Goku and Vegeta's power, but we will wait and find out on if in fact Frieza's fusion can do it or not. To which, as coolezia was now shown transforming, that was when Yoshido had gone as far as to point out, hey, check it out. It looks like that fusion really wasn't bluffing about his power after all, huh? They look like they're about to explode down there with the amount of energy that he's shown exerting all at the same time. Well, this could prove to be a much bigger challenge for those Saiyans down there than I originally thought he would, the Grand Priest responds. Oh yeah, now see, this is what I'm talking about down there, Yoshida went on to clap by responding. See, now that's what I wanted to see. Bravo, Lizard Fusion, bravo indeed. Watching them transform like this is really making me want to jump down there and see what this guy is all about before he ends up fighting the other two. Hey, if you Saiyans end up dying in the middle of your fight against this guy, then I call dibs on fighting him next. You've pushed my patience to the brink of its limits, and now I will show you both the true meaning of absolute power and despair. So now behold my all, Saiyans. In which, just as a blinding flash of light was now beginning to emanate, that's when Vegeta went on to respond, "Gah, there's no way that their fusion should be outputting this much power without breaking their body down in the process. God, curse that Frieza. He had to have made sure to cover all of the areas that he needed to get ahead. And it doesn't feel like it's stopping either," Goku then went on to respond. "His power just keeps getting bigger and bigger. Oh great, now what?" Whoa, my word, what an amazing power indeed, the Grand Priest went on to respond. And to see it come from a mortal fusion is nothing short of impressive, to say the least. Well, now this ought to be something for us to see, with Beerus responding, "Oh, why that dirty Frieza. He made sure to go and use every possible trick in the book that he could take in order to reach this level of power. Girl, those Saiyans better take care of this freak quickly." Whoa, Goku responds, "You've got to be kidding me. So this is Frieza and Cooler's full power while fused together? Vegeta, this doesn't look good for us, especially since we're both exhausted," with Vegeta responding, "All those rats. They significantly magnified their power beyond their previous limits." To where seconds later, as we now finally get to see Coolez's ultimate and true power now having to be manifested onto the surface, it was only just before both parties were then shown engaging where Cooleza went on to respond, "And here you fools honestly believed that I was incapable of going even higher than where I was before. I have become a true force of nature, the likes of which has never before been seen. And here I stand before you far beyond what either of you thought was possible. So I welcome you, Saiyans. We are now in the end game of our story, and no matter what you both try and do, you cannot escape the impending doom that waits for you. The combined sums of Cooler's platinum form and Frieza's black transformation has now given birth to a new godlike warrior. And so from here on, before you are both destroyed, you can now refer to this as Omega Cooleza. And now to finish our story once and for all, are you both ready? As it was only right then and there now during that moment where the Beyond Dragon Ball Super story of the top 5 strongest warriors in the multiverse manga chapter number 59 special then comes to a close. Now you can make no mistake about the fact that you do not want to miss out on what is about to transpire next, which will be that of manga chapter number 60, which will of course be made available right now on my Patreon for all of my Patreon members out there to see. So if you would not only like to support the content that you see on this channel on top of all of the fan mangas, but also gain exclusive content and access to my soundtracks, art, PNGs, and so much more, then I do encourage for you all to become a member of my Patreon today, patreon.com/unrealendgaming, to which I will go ahead and leave those links located down in the description box below and pinned comment section below as well, because you do not want to miss out on what is about to take place next, because with all 5 of the strongest warriors there, along with Beerus and Whis, you can only imagine as to how powerful this Omega variation of Cooleza is going to be by comparison to that of Primal Ultra Instinct Goku and Mastered Ultra Ego Vegeta, so you can only expect the unexpected, as I've been saying for such a long time now. So again, I do want to thank you all so much for watching. Thank you all so very much for your time, in which, as always, if you also happen to be new to this channel and of course love Dragon Ball and anime, then I do encourage for you guys to head on over and smash that subscribe button, on top of making sure to give this video a big fat thumbs up right now by smashing that like button down below. Tune back in for more, and with all that being said, I want to thank you all so much for your kindness, time, support, and patience, and I'll be seeing each and every single one of you down in the comment section below and in the next video. Take it easy, everybody, and have a great day. Peace!
Dragon Ball Kakumi is finally back after a pretty long hiatus, but we're picking up right where we left off, and you aren't going to want to miss this one, so be sure to leave a like on the video, share the video, and subscribe for more. And if you guys want to support the original creators of Dragon Ball Kakumi, all of those guys' links will be down below in the description and in the pinned comment. As we pick up in chapter 21, Kaba, Caulifla, and Admiral Fennel are taking Bulma to safety. Excuse me, but can we stop for a moment? Bulma asks. I think we've gone far enough to talk to you guys about something. Alright, Captain Kaba, Caulifla, we're landing, but stay alert, Fennel says to them. They land on a plot of land down below when Bulma goes on to explain to them that she took extra precautions for a situation just like this. She shows them the Hoi Poi capsules that her family's enterprise is known for. Kaba seems to know a lot about these capsules and how they can be used to transport large objects, but Bulma explains to them that the one weakness is that they can't contain living beings. Wonder how they tested that one out. What's your point? Caulifla interjects, to which Bulma just smirks and activates the capsule in her hand. Well, thanks to the help of the Tuffle researchers, I've solved the problem, she says, as the capsule reveals a large residential type structure. The living organism simply climbs into this cabin, and the Hoi Poi capsules take care of reducing this new device, and the atoms of the living body follow suit. And there's more, she goes on. Here's a reproduction of the Scouters that the Saiyans of my universe used to wear, she says, as she presents a briefcase with redesigned Scouters for them. Put one to your ear and you'll be able to keep in touch with me once I'm in the capsule, Bulma says, as Caulifla puts one on, and Bulma has one on as well. Good. I wish you all good luck, and I can't thank you enough for what you're doing for me, she says. She gets inside the cabin and the capsule shrinks back to miniature size as Kaba goes to keep it secure, and once he does that, Bulma comes screeching through the speaker in his ear, causing him to fall, but he's able to hear her loud and clear. It's like a luxury hotel in here, Bulma says, enjoying this mission a little too much probably. I'm completely undetectable, by the way, she tells them, so take care of yourselves, and if I have any ideas or requests, I'll let you guys know. Alright, Miss Bulma, we'll do our best, Kaba says. Even Caulifla seems to be warming up to Bulma a bit as she says that she's nothing like Vegeta. She has too much class. Now, all we have to do is decide on who will be in charge of Mrs. Bulma's protection, Kaba says, to which Caulifla makes fun of him for being so formal with Universe 7 all the time. Your beanpole skills suit you perfectly, my little Kaba, so we'll leave you in charge of her protection, and if you succeed, at least you'll be able to rise in your idol's esteem. You sure know how to talk to me, Kaba replies. Well, what she's trying to say, Admiral Fennel interjects, is that she has full confidence in you and thinks you're the best person while protecting your own. She doesn't put it like that, but she likes you. Mind your business, Caulifla says while blushing. Kaba proposes that he, Kel, and Caulifla all get back to training together once this is all over, and as they prepare to set out, Caulifla tells Kaba that he better not die, and likewise to her from him. I'll get Bulma to safety. For the rest, I'm counting on you, he says to her. And this is when Bulma cuts in again, though, and tells them that the whole reason for her traveling like this is so they don't have to worry about her safety. She tells Kaba to go all out, and if anything still happens to her, even while she's in this miniature form, then that's just the way it goes. Well, Kaba, the girls ask him, now what will you do? That means I can't afford to make mistakes, Kaba says, getting serious now. He and Caulifla transform into Super Saiyan 2 before setting off. Back at the battle between Vegeta and Amaran, Amaran is analyzing Vegeta very carefully and makes an acute observation. You have more strength than you're allowed in this blue form, don't you? He asks. Vegeta says nothing. If, unfortunately, I'm wrong, that would be absolutely deplorable. It would be obvious that Bulma couldn't even hope to survive to the end of the day, he says with a hideous smirk. I won't pay any more attention to your pitiful provocations, Moonface, Vegeta says sternly. I know these young people inside out, and I know they won't fail. However, you're a little too prone to opening your big mouth for a god of destruction. Let's let our fists finish this conversation, shall we, he asks. It's at this moment, though, that Vegeta finally realizes something crucial. Bulma. What? What happened? Her ki just disappeared. Why can't I feel it anymore? He thinks to himself, panicking. Vegeta's entire demeanor shifts after this, and his ki becomes malicious as he regrets not being there to protect his wife himself. Oh, I think you noticed the same thing I did, Amaran says with the same hideous smirk. Vegeta is still silent though. Here we are at last, Amaran mocks. Vegeta would charge forth in a fit of absolute rage, completely riled by the apparent death of Bulma, but Amaran is honestly enjoying the fight at this moment, as he even stated he wishes it could last forever. Large quantities of ki are being extinguished all over the world, King Sadala says as he faces off against Dula still. First my soldiers and Broly's attack, then Parsa, and now Vegeta's wife, he says, clenching his fist. Then the cleaning is effective, Dula responds. I should have joined the fight as soon as you set foot on our land, King Sadala says. By refusing to act quickly, I've condemned children, citizens, and soldiers of Sadala to death. Those are some pretty big words for someone who hasn't managed to touch me once, Dula says, laughing. All of a sudden, a few more of his teeth managed to get knocked out, so right now he isn't working with much. King Sadala lands another vicious blow to the gut, causing Dula to curse him, but when he looks up, King Sadala is holding what appears to be a battle axe formulated from ki, holding it over his head like Thor's hammer, and in one simple swing, he severs Dula's arm. Dula begins to panic, looking for some way out of this, but King Sadala is already preparing to wipe him from existence with this next attack, so he asks, if you demons live so peacefully in darkness, then why do you take such pleasure in feasting upon our light? Nothing we can do about it. It's just the way we are, Dula responds. Us demons, born from chaos. All of a sudden, Dula's severed arm comes bursting through the torso of King Sadala as he wonders just how can this be? Was there a portal he wasn't aware of? King Sadala is no pushover though. He summons a monstrous amount of energy in his hand and places it to his torso where that wound is located. What? Doesn't this guy feel pain? Dula says, shocked as King Sadala is barely struggling to move with an entire hole through his body right now. As he finishes, it seems like the hole has been shut and healed for the most part, as King Sadala definitely expended a lot of power to do such a thing, but he's honestly been holding back this entire battle as he lets Dula know that now the time has come. King Sadala's energy starts spiking to enormous proportions, and before Dula knows it, King Sadala would finally reveal his very own Super Saiyan form. Back at the fight between Peppino and Salaga, Peppino seems to be landing some pretty solid attacks on his opponent after revealing his secret technique. How can you do so much damage when I feel almost no threatening ki from you, Salaga asks. Damn Saiyan. You're wrong. I'm neither a Saiyan nor a Tuffle. I'm just a child from planet Sadala. Salaga is no longer amused at this response though. The time for words has long passed, he says. Peppino readies their next attack, but Salaga pierces them straight through the stomach, ending this battle instantly. However, Salaga isn't the only one who has a few tricks up their sleeves. Peppino would appear behind Salaga again all of a sudden and delivers a drive impact directly to his back and sends him flying. Another hologram, Salaga says after being planted into a wall. Yet, this one gives off heat, a smell. Exactly what kind of technology is this, he asks. You seem to place a great deal of importance on rationalizing things for a magician, Peppino replies. Oh, I'm sure I'll learn a lot from you, Peppino, Salaga responds with a wicked grin. But you can duplicate yourself as much as you like, he continues. It's your corpse that will end up on the floor. Peppino delivers another vicious attack on Salaga, this time alongside the hologram. I think I finally understood, Salaga says after that last attack. Certainly his technique does me no small amount of damage, but as for all his other physical characteristics, speed, stamina, and even agility are all the same. All I should need to do is, but this is when Peppino interrupts and asks, what have you finally understood? That all this is pointless? My swirling force isn't even up to full speed yet. All I need now is a single blow to finish you off. This is when Salaga takes to the skies though and gets a manic look in his eyes. Peppino assumes that this is some sort of retreat, but Salaga begins manifesting a massive attack, and in one fell swoop, Salaga uses this technique to one-shot Peppino, who had no idea what was even hitting him. What was that? Peppino demands as he struggles to get back up. However, his body continues to restructure. Anti-space punch, Salaga replies, or as I like to call this, high-level magic. As you may have gathered already, it consists in being able to hit any obstacle closest to the direction of your shot and no longer takes into account the space between them. The result is an instant impact. So, ready for round 2, he asks, smirking. Salaga then releases a flurry of anti-space punches that send Peppino flying and put humongous strain on his body's restructuring process trying to heal. And now for the highlight of the show, Salaga says as he goes in for the final blow. But all of a sudden, a powerful punch blindsides Salaga and sends him flying. Oh good, you're back. You make my job so much easier, Salaga comments, smiling as Kaba, Califla, and Admiral Fennel finally arrive back at the battlefield. You've done more than enough harm. Time to settle this right here and now, Kaba says, as chapter 21 of Dragon Ball Kakumi finally comes to an end. And with the next chapter set for October 25th, guys, so mark that on your calendar. It's probably a safe bet that we'll be getting back to the battle with Broly next. And as you guys can see from the very last page in this chapter, there is a Kakumi animation for chapter 1 being worked on as well. So you know we're gonna have to react to that once it's done. But thank you guys so much for watching. Don't forget to check out the entire Dragon Ball Kakumi playlist, which will be up on the screen and pinned down below in the comments. Don't forget to share the video, like and subscribe if you have been enjoying the content. But anyways, have a great day, and I'm gonna see you all in the next one. Bye, guys.
Jesus Christ, really?
Don't forget to become a member of Unrelent Gaming's Patreon for exclusive manga content and early access. Isn't that right, Seth?
I already joined his Patreon today. Tons of great stuff on there, actually. But did you really have to blow up the city?
Yes.
Blew up the dominoes. You blew up the dominoes and you're laughing. Do you realize the f***ing crisis here?
And you will be next. Unless you subscribe, like the video, and turn on notifications right now.
Or else what? You'll aggressively scream another man's name for several hours?
Kakarot! Kakarot!
What an unusually high battle power from a monstrous fusion such as this! Coolez's fusion is a feat that piques my curiosity, especially now that he's unveiled this new Omega form of his. And so the time has finally come for us to bear witness to the true extent of what both Goku and Vegeta are capable of in this battle against Frieza's fusion. Power alone does not always guarantee victory in a fight, for it is the heart, spirit, and the desire to lay everything on the line, including your own life, that determines the outcome. And though Omega Cooleza appears to be in a league of his own, if Vegeta and Goku are not successful in their battle against the fusion, then it'll be the end of everything as they know it.
As our story now continues following the events of Cooleza being shown having to unveil and unleashing his true power now onto the surface, as with the newly transformed Omega Cooleza now being shown having to stand before Goku and Vegeta, it was only just as Cooleza went on to address them where Cooleza then went on to comment, "I want you both to gaze upon the incarnation of your deepest, darkest nightmares that has now manifested into becoming your unfortunate reality, Saiyans. What you are seeing is the epitome of supreme power. And if you thought that I was difficult to destroy before, then the two of you stand no chance at what I am now. And as it stands, I am stronger than both of you, and you know it. So it doesn't matter who you decide to bring here with you or how many of you attempt to attack me together, you will all single-handedly fail. So you can both try as much as you'd like, and I'll gladly show you the difference now between us. First, I will punish you both myself inflicting as much physical damage onto your individual bodies that I could, and once I've had my fill at watching you each suffer, then that's when the two of you will be destroyed. Interesting, the power emanating from this fusion is extremely abnormal, Budo went on to then chime in, and from what I can sense down there, he also appears to be much stronger than the Saiyan mortals as well. What say you, Akuma? I agree, Akuma responds. However, I doubt that it'll be an easy fight for that fusion to win, especially since neither of these Saiyans look as though they're about to give up anytime soon. Keep your eyes on them at all costs, if anything, with Primal Goku then responding, oh well, this is just great. Now their fusion is far above what either of us are with in the moment, and we're only starting to get more and more tired the longer this continues. Oh, any ideas on how you want to go about this, Vegeta? With Vegeta responding, oh well, dropping out of either one of our forms isn't going to help us, so whatever happens, make sure that you remain in your primal form while you can. It's either going to be him or us, and so we have to try and find a way to slow him down before he gets going. You Saiyans could never understand the depths of the rage and hatred that festers within me that I have for the two of you. And the gap between our power now couldn't be any more obvious if it already wasn't before. And so here's one of many examples of what I mean. This little ball of energy here has enough power behind it to wipe out our entire universe if ignited. And so what makes either of you believe that you can possibly compete with what I am now, coolezia asks, let alone what I have yet to fully show you both once we start fighting again. We took every possible approach that we could in order to make sure that we never fall to either of you monkeys ever again, even if it meant temporarily mixing your DNA with ours to do it. Now this is going to be good, Yoshido then went on to comment. What do you think, Takira? You think these two will have what it takes to be done with this fusion so that we can go back and finish that tournament, or are they both doomed? With Takira responding, unless they are able to find the source of that fusion's weakness, then they will fall, so I wouldn't rule them out of this yet, so let's see. I possess the greatest power in the entire universe with no equal in sight, coolezia went on to then continue, and what you both are about to experience will be the last battle that either of you will ever wage. Our might knows no bounds, our potential knows no bounds, and our power is second to none, especially when compared to yours. And don't you dare even think for 1 second that our fusion is anything remotely similar to either of yours, coolezia continues, because unlike your fusion, ours isn't limited by the restrictions of our power outputs, which means that we can continue to grow stronger along the way with no drawbacks on how long we can remain fused either. The full hour is more than enough to crush you both beneath the might of our ultimate power, and that is exactly what we intend to do now that we're ready to finally put you both to rest. Are you thinking what I'm thinking, Takira? Budo then went on to turn by asking, because from what it sounds like, if that fusion is somehow able to destroy the mortal Saiyans below, then he will likely try and challenge us next, which would certainly be a big mistake if he does. So should we go and put an end to him now or what? With Takira responding, this is not our battle, so we will remain here and watch in the meantime. We have no business getting involved in something that doesn't require us to be a part of, and so unless they are foolish enough to attack us first, then we will wait and watch. As coolezia had now gone as far as to stick his arm out by then responding, you two have stood in the way of my plans for the very last time. Our destinies couldn't be any more intertwined, especially with the history that we all share, which is why this is going to be so extremely satisfying for me, and so it begins then. And since he's already here, this will now save me both the time and the trouble of looking for him once you both die, because once you are both dead and out of my way for good, then the god of destruction, Beerus, is next. What did that freak of a fusion just say? Beerus went on to then ask. Correct me if I'm wrong in case my ears aren't properly able to hear what they just said, but did Frieza's fusion just mention coming after me after he destroys both Goku and Vegeta down there? Oh, now that does it. With Whis chiming in, I wouldn't jump into this battle quite yet if I were you, my lord, as if it wasn't obvious already, this Omega variant that coolezia is displaying is much stronger than you you are. So this battle does not involve any of us, as Takira mentioned, and so we will leave this up to Goku and Vegeta to take care of, since this was, of course, why we came here in the first place, to which as coolezia was now shown aiming his arm back down, it was only just before coolezia was now shown getting ready to make his move where coolezia then went on to respond. Now I think it's time that we start to see just how good the two of you really are. Yes, now let's start with seeing how good your eyes are. So you better both start moving fast, because I'm about to pick the two of you apart without you even having the chance to see what hit you. Oh, this is it. He's about to make his move on us, Vegeta. Stay sharp, with Vegeta responding, I'm ready, but look closer. He isn't using energy in a way of creating any sort of energy attack, which means it's a forced base attack. Kakarot, get out of the way now or you'll be caught. To which seconds later, as the ground beneath them was now being shown getting completely destroyed, it was only just after both Vegeta and Goku were now shown getting out of harm's way was when Vegeta then went on to shout, oh damn them! That was way too close of a call and we barely even saw it coming. Are they nuts or what? But then, it was just from out of nowhere where Omega Coolezia was now shown making his first move on Mastered Ultra Ego Vegeta by from there being shown kicking him away, as Coolezia then went on to respond, let's get this out of the way now and start with you, since you and this ridiculous destroyer power of yours has been a thorn on my side since the very beginning, Vegeta. Whoa, now that was fast, Yoshido then went on to chime in. Not bad, actually, not bad at all. They took the fusion's bait and fell right into his oncoming attack, which caught the purple one off guard. What a bunch of idiots, especially that mortal Goku, Budo then went on to respond. Well, let's see if he can do what he did against us with this fusion, and for his sake, they better hurry up and win. Never mind the amount of times where you should have died a long time ago before, Vegeta. I promised that I'd show you pain. I tried warning you that this would happen, but at least now I will have the chance to crush you both since Goku's here with you. Now start begging, Saiyan. I want to hear you beg for your life. But then, it was only just now from behind Coolezia as Primal Ultra Instinct Goku was now shown making his way towards him, where Coolezia then went on to continue, and here comes the other one to the rescue. Yes, monkeys always did manage to travel in packs before they were all destroyed by me. That's right, Goku, right this way. Now let's see which one of our Apex forms is truly the superior of the two. In which upon Primal Ultra Instinct Goku now shown having to attempt to strike Coolezia with Coolezia all of a sudden now vanishing, that's when Coolezia went on to then continue, oh, I'm sorry, were you thinking that you'd catch me off guard and assume that I wouldn't already see you coming, Saiyan? Perhaps I was just expecting for you to be a little faster than this, God Monkey. Now don't tire out on me just yet, slave, because it's my turn now. Oh, damn it, where did he go? Goku then went on to further question. No, his reaction speed is a lot greater than I thought it'd be, and so now where did he go? And it feels like he's using instant transmission to move around, but it also feels like he's a lot faster than that too, with Vegeta then having to shout, that's because he is! To your side, Kakarot! He's coming up right next to you! In which from out of nowhere, before you know it, as soon as Coolezia was now shown having to strike Goku on the side of his ribs by using his knee, was when Omega Coolezia went on to respond, now that's what you call true speed, God Monkey! You two are a complete joke compared to what I am now. So come now, Goku. There is much for me to show you, in which upon Coolezia now being shown dragging Goku away, it was only just as a very angry Vegeta was beginning to oversee this where the Grand Priest then went on to chime in, and I must admit and say that to see Coolesia's fusion be able to fight apart both Goku and Vegeta like this is definitely impressive, and yet also very alarming too, to say the least, as Vegeta went on to comment, oh, this is just insane. There has to be some kind of a way to disorient their fusion, but how? If what they said about their enhanced time limit is true, then surely their hour has to be coming to an end soon, but are they aware? No, they certainly must know, unless their arrogance has blinded them from the truth. And if that's the case, then that leaves them vulnerable. Their power output could be the key to ripping their fusion apart in the long run. In which when then going back to Coolezia and Goku, with Coolezia being shown throwing Goku back down onto into the ground, that was when coolezia went on to respond, "You Saiyans could never understand on how long I've waited to see this day between us. While the two of you were busy training away, I made sure to take every possible approach that I could in order to counter everything that either of you would ever throw my way. Everything, you dirty little monkeys. And I've harnessed my anger in ways to where I am now able to channel this emotion into raw power to use against you. Your Saiyan heritage is all that remains from a long forgotten era," coolezia then continues, "which I plan to wipe away for good once this day is over. And I will use your own techniques and power against you both to do it. Now watch as I use yet another one of your adversary's techniques against you. So try as much as you'd like. I can already sense you both tiring out the longer this goes. Imagine being crushed beneath the weight of your own planet's energy while you both wither away within the depths of your own failure to do anything about it to stop me. Ironic, isn't it, monkeys?" Alright, that one really hurt just now, Goku then went on to get up by responding, "Oh, so I was right. He's moving at speeds which go way beyond the pace of even my instant transmission. And he's able to do it while masking his energy too. Well, don't skip ahead and get the wrong idea here, coolezia, cause the Frieza side of you should already know what me and Vegeta are capable of, and especially once we're both backed into a corner with no other way out except through our opponents. And if you haven't figured that out by now," Goku then went on to continue, "then you will soon enough. And although you've enhanced these Potara earrings to maintain this body of yours, and I think you're really starting to underestimate our knowledge on those things. And especially since we've had way more experience of using them than you ever did. You really think that you can pull this master plan of yours off and destroy us both for good this time?" "And of course I will," coolezia then went on to quickly respond. "And I don't care how experienced the two of you are by using these Potaras. Your bluff means absolutely nothing to me." But then, it was only just now from out of nowhere behind coolezia was when Mastered Ultra Ego Vegeta had now gone as far as to blindside coolezia by then shouting, "Well, it should, and it's not a bluff, you coward. We are far from done, and so now you have my blood pumping. And if you think that we aren't going to turn this around on you, then you're in for a rude awakening, Fusion." In which seconds later, even despite Vegeta's best attempts of blasting coolezia from behind, it was just as coolezia was now shown having to deflect each and every single one of Vegeta's energy blasts away was when Beerus then went on to chime in, "Oh, I don't like this one bit, Whis. And it's hard to tell, but are those Saiyans really running out of gas down there or what?" "Well, they have been fighting separately for an ongoing period of time, my lord, but, well, even if they are both starting to feel exhausted, I still don't think that they will fall." In which seconds later, the moment Vegeta had now created an opening for Goku to swoop on in and now attack coolezia was when Vegeta then went on to shout, "Now, Kakarot, while you have the chance! Oh, there we are, now I've got you," with coolezia then responding, "Oh, you thought I couldn't see you coming? Your coordinated efforts of attacking me won't help you this time, monkey." "Oh, this fusion freak is good," Yoshido then went on to chime in. "I like him. He's also very sturdy compared to how his body was just a few minutes ago, too. So now we're talking." And as expected, coolezia continues, "Trash will always belong with trash no matter the size, filthy Saiyans. You are both oh so predictable. You follow the same method of attack despite knowing that you can't win. But here you go, Vegeta." Coolezia then went on to throw Goku into Vegeta by then responding, "A bit of target practice for you since your aim is starting to miss its mark." "Oh, now how is that fair?" Whis Beerus then went on to quickly shout, "That fusion's starting to use those Saiyans in ways where they'll attack one another on accident." Well, Coolezia is fighting dirty, which is exactly why the odds are leaning more in his favor for the time being, Whis then went on to respond. He already knows what to expect from both Goku and Vegeta, which is why he is starting to use them to attack one another together indirectly because he knows that it'll help him, to which as Vegeta was now shown doing just that was when Vegeta then went on to shout, "God damn it, he used Kakarot as a ploy! Get out of my way, you fool! Focus! He's trying to do whatever that he can to confuse us! Oh, damn it! Well, come on then, Fusion! Just remember that the longer this goes, the stronger I'm going to continue to get, and you know it, coward! Now come on!" With coolezia then being shown dashing towards Vegeta by then responding, "Oh, don't try and act like this body of yours doesn't have its limits, whereas mine remains indestructible, Vegeta. You had your chance to try and destroy me like you said you were, and you couldn't do it. And the reason on why you couldn't do it was because you simply weren't strong enough to match me, and you know it. You worthless worms underestimated the lengths that I would go to in order to achieve my goals against you. I'd sacrifice anything and anyone that I could to ensure my dominance and rightful place as the ruler of all creatures across the cosmos." Oh, just what the hell is going on with those two down there? Beerus then went on to further question. Can those Saiyans not use their full power against that fusion or what? Oh, this is just getting very annoying, and I can't help but feel as though something's off. What's going on with them, Whis? Are they finished down there against this monster or not? Because I refuse to accept this as being the outcome of their battle, with Whis responding, "Well, this might come off as a bit unusual to you, my lord, but I have this feeling that both Goku and Vegeta know exactly what they're doing down there. Try and look closely," with Budo then having to ask, "Is that true? You see something, don't you? Tell us, are the Saiyan mortals doomed to fail or not?" With Sekiro responding, "They will lose only if they fail to capitalize on the fusion's remaining time limit in battle. The Saiyans appear to be studying this coolezia despite sustaining massive amounts of damage onto their physical bodies while they do it. The source that the mortal Saiyans appear to be looking for," Takira continues, "appears to be coming from a single concentrated point within the body. It's likely that they are both looking to disrupt the fusion's energy source that binds the two warriors within together, as they look to try and break the fusion down from within first. The key is to keep coolezia in a constant motion, pushing them to further exert more and more power until their body can no longer sustain it, thus cracking them from the inside first. And with that fusion's internal clock ticking, it looks like they're trying to manipulate his movements in order to force coolezia into further draining his power rapidly, rather than in small periods of time like he has so far. And by further exploiting their overconfidence, they will be more susceptible to making reckless decisions, which the Saiyan mortals can then use against him. Now, although the strength of this fusion is formidable, even surpassing them both in battle, the more powerful they continue to become, the quicker they will exhaust their energy and burn right through their remaining time while fused. Ah, so then it's a race against time then, huh? So then that means if they don't find a way to disrupt that fusion synergy soon, Yoshido then went on to continue, then they'll be slaughtered down there since the fusion appears to be in complete control, as Akuma then went on to chime in, and from what it looks like, if those two aren't at full power to expose the fusion's vulnerabilities, then they've already lost, with Beerus chiming in, "Wait, so you're telling me that those two are fighting on borrowed time? Oh, how in the world are they supposed to weaken the internal bond of what keeps that fusion whole, and if they aren't strong enough to break through his outer defenses in order to get to the core of where they want to be?" With Whis responding, "Well, by getting coolezia to slowly start to crack first is what I think will be what helps them. And if coolezia cannot focus due to his emotions getting in the way of his logic, then they may have found their window." As even the Grand Priest went on to chime in, "The combination of psychological warfare and strategic attacks will be the key in unraveling the fusion's flaws, though there are in fact one of two outcomes that may in fact happen here," the Grand Priest continues. "Either the Saiyans will figure out a way to cripple the fusion from within first, and thus forcing coolezia in overexerting himself, or he will likely catch on to what the Saiyans are trying to do and destroy them both before they have the chance to do it." Interesting, then we will watch and wait to see which of these outcomes comes true then. In which, in the meantime, when then going back to Goku and coolezia, as soon as Goku was now shown having to miss one of his strikes was when coolezia then went went on to respond, despite having a new form and being at your best, you are making this way too easy for me, Goku. It'll take a miracle for you and Vegeta to come close in beating me, but any hope of either of you monkeys having any sort of miracle against me is only but a dream. In which within that very moment, as coolezia was now shown grabbing onto Goku's ankles and spinning him around, that's when coolezia went on to continue, but this is one dream that you will never be able to wake yourself back out of, no matter how badly you try, feeble monkey. Come now, let's go for a spin. Oh, I've had enough of your games, Vegeta then quickly went on to shout by dashing towards coolezia. Let go of that idiot and come fight me instead, you coward. But coolezia, on the other hand, had different intentions, because upon now being shown having to use Goku as a means of knocking Vegeta away, was when coolezia had continued in spinning Goku around by responding, you don't get to tell me what the rules in this fight are, Vegeta. Now out of my way, monkey. Oh, you better stand back up and continue to fight, Vegeta. Fight through the pain and don't let Goku or that stupid fusion outshine you, do you hear me? Oh, just look at them. They're dropping like flies down there and the fight just started, Yoshida went on to then chime in. So, nobody here is willing to make a wager on this fight? No? Anyone? So I hear that while I was butchering your friends and family here on Earth, coolezia then went on to address Goku by then telling him that you were off somewhere in a faraway place waging war against the 5 strongest in the multiverse now, were you? Well, how cute, Saiyan, but here's to a friendly reminder for you on why you should have stayed where you were while you were with them, coolezia then went on to shout by throwing Goku directly towards the 5 and the gods. There is no need for there to be 5 when you are looking at the one true strongest in the multiverse. Bro, that pile of trash really decided to throw that Saiyan towards us on purpose, Beerus then went on to quickly chime in. Oh, he's going to crash right into us, damn it, as even Goku then went on to say to himself, I can't stop it. The force behind the way he just threw me is too much. I can't concentrate properly enough to escape. But then, it was only now shockingly from out of nowhere, before Goku had gone as far as to crash into the others, it was only from out of nowhere where Budo of all individuals had now gone as far as to save Goku by then responding, watch where you're going, Saiyan. The last thing we need from you is to crash right into the rest of us while we're waiting for you and your Saiyan friend down there to hurry up and finish this. Now get it together so that we can finally go back and finish that tournament against you, Goku. Budo, hey, nice save there, so thanks a lot for that, Goku then went on to respond. If you didn't stop me from flying out any further just now, then I likely would have just crashed right into everyone back there, so I owe you one, with Budo responding, I don't need your gratitude, Saiyan. Now what's wrong with you? You don't appear to be fighting with the same focus and fire that you had when fighting against us. So what's your deal here, and what happened to that angel form of yours that you used before? Have you lost your ways in this battle or what? Cough it up right now, with Goku responding, well, I kinda still feel like my body hasn't fully cooled down since using that angelic power against Takira, so, and on top of that, I can't seem to concentrate with my mind being so fixated on Coolesia's fusion and all, so I may need a second just to fully be able to collect myself so that way I can focus again, with Budo responding, then you better hurry it up and make it quick, because it doesn't look like you or your friend down there can keep this going forever. And for your sake, you owe us for coming here, Budo continues. So that is why you better make this quick while you still can, because I'm tired of waiting. As Akuma then went on to surprisingly chime in from behind by responding, you do understand that we aren't going to wait around forever in order for this to finally be done, don't you? How is it that you were fully focused against us before, but seem to have lost your edge when up against the fusion creature below? With Goku responding, well, that's actually a good question. I guess it's because it's Frieza we're dealing with here, and the last thing that I ever expected to find out was to hear about how he came back to Earth after taking this weird serum, of course along with his brother on top of that, but by also going as far as to use the Potara earrings as a contingency plan. You! How dare you stand in the way of our battle by saving that disgusting waste of life life, coolezia then went on to point out by shouting. You all there must be the 5 strongest in the multiverse that I kept hearing Vegeta brag about. Yes, how very interesting. Well, if choosing to side with this monkey is the hill that you wish to die on, then let us start by piling this hill sky high with the bodies of those who wish to die with him. In which, shockingly enough, the moment coolezia was from that point then shown firing a beam directly towards Akuma, it was only just as Goku had now gone as far as to warn Akuma, where Goku then went on to shout, "Oh no, hey, look out behind, wretched creature." Akuma then went on to quickly respond, "You clearly have no idea on who it is that you're threatening here. We are nothing alike, and your latest claim as being greater than us couldn't be further from the truth, mortal. And unless you wish to keep the life that you currently have, whether you are fused into one body with your brother or not, it would be wise for you to keep the 5 of us out of your business with these Saiyans unless you want to be destroyed, just like your attack here," with Goku then surprisingly responding, "Whoa." Akuma completely vaporized Coolesia's blast without even having to turn his head to look, and let alone even having to try. Amazing. With Akuma continuing, "And so we will not warn you again. If you go and try that little stunt of yours like that again in order to provoke us, then you will be dealing with the 4 of us instead of dealing with Goku and Vegeta. And as impressive as this power of yours is, it is nothing compared to our own," Akuma continues. "And if you're truly feeling lucky today, then try us and see what will happen. There will be no more warnings from here on, creature. You will not hurt these creatures by using any of us as bait for you to try and do it," with coolezia responding, "And is any of that supposed to scare me, please? I don't care who you are or how powerful you all claim to be, because I'll have no problem tearing into the 5 of you just like I'm tearing into these monkeys. So your empty threats don't faze me," to which upon Takira, Akuma, and Budo now being shown standing in front of Goku, it was only just as they were now shown having to do so was when Budo then went on to respond, "Then if you truly want to test your luck and find out what we're really all about, then make your move and do your worst and watch us break you in half. Now just try it. You have no idea on just how far you're about to be pulled in deep waters, Fusion," Takira then went on to chime in. "It would be wise for you to resume your battle with the Saiyans rather than running the risk of being annihilated by us. The choice is yours." Now, I don't know how big of a brain you have under that big metal-looking skull of yours, Yoshido then went on to pop in from behind by responding, "but you'd be crazy to think that you'd be able to actually hang with any of the 5 of us," with coolezia responding, "You pathetic puppets think this is some kind of a game? I'll gladly fight all of you together, and I'll start by slaughtering you as being my first victim, slave. You will know true power when you see it," with Yoshido responding, "Oh yeah? Now we're talking. Alright then, big boy, go on, hit me. Make my day." But before coolezia could go as far as to now do so, it was only just when coolezia was shown having to wind his hand back where Goku from out of nowhere went on to shout, "Oh no you don't! Leave them out of this, coolezia! Your fight is with me and Vegeta, not them, and so I'm not letting go until our fight is over, you hear me?" But then, it was only just when Goku was now shown having to say this where coolezia had now gone as far as to headbutt Goku by then responding, "You get your disgusting hands off of me, Saiyan! You don't get to tell me what to do around here, not even in your wildest dreams, monkey! And to think that those were the warriors whom you've been fighting with this entire time. I'll show them. I'll show each of them once I'm done with the 2 of you. I'll shred any and every warrior in the multiverse if I need to once I'm done with my business here and with them. But first I want you both to know, both you and Vegeta," coolezia then went on to drag on Goku down by telling him, "along with being the first to truly experience the true depth and nature of my terrifying and unmatched power, you both will pay dearly. And no matter which one of you is the first to go, the other will soon follow. I can't break free," Goku then went on to utter. "Oh, curse that freak and that ridiculous fusion," Vegeta then went on to respond by standing back up. But what was that just just now went among the 5 in the sky. It was faint, but I sensed friction coming from their spirit just now. Could that be it? It has to be. And if it is, then that's my ticket, Vegeta went on to respond. That fusion has completely lost his mind if he thought he was about to fight the 5 strongest and expect to actually win, Beerus went on to chime in. Well, even if he tried, the Grand Priest responds, and I highly doubt that he would have gotten past any of the other 4 as it is, although the fusion's unnatural power is right behind Budo's, and I still don't see a scenario happening where Budo would have lost to such a creature. I would have wiped the floor with his body down there, Budo then went on to respond. He would have been a fool to go and actually try to make a move on me, with the Grand Priest responding, but I will admit and say that it surely would have been an entertaining battle to see take place, that much is for sure. Oh hey, focus for a second and just listen, Vegeta went on to address Goku by then telling him, did you sense that too while you were up there with him or what? There was a moment of friction that was coming from his spirit within, with Goku responding, yeah, but just barely. I couldn't focus fully to tell, but I felt it too. Listen, as crazy as this may sound, if we continue to fight him like this, then we'll likely drop out of our forms before he does. He's way too strong for us to continue to brawl with like this, and we'll need to think of another plan. As coolezia then went on to respond, just look at you both. All these years that the two of you have devoted towards playing catch up and not realizing who the true strongest was this entire time. Me. And I'll make sure to keep it that way, monkeys. So are you both ready to head into the afterlife, or do you want me to continue to beat you down some more before I go and send you there? With Vegeta then responding, oh, and so what are you proposing here, Kakarot? The plan is fairly obvious, and I yearn to hurry and get back in there against him so that way I can finally destroy them for good. Especially Frieza, with Goku responding, well, we probably aren't going to make it very far like this, especially if we're both already exhausted as we are, so there's only one other way for us to put an end to him for good, Vegeta, with Vegeta responding, wait a second. And just what exactly are you getting at here, Kakarot? You better not dare say it. You know what it is, and it might be our only other shot that we've got, with coolezia then having to respond, and just what in the world could the two of you possibly be whispering about over there? Are you two trying to decide on who will be dying first or what? With Goku then responding, oh come on Vegeta, it's been a long time since we went along ahead to use fusion anyways, and besides, with our combined powers with where we are right now, there's no way Frieza's fusion would be able to hold a candle to what we could accomplish. We don't have much of a choice here, Vegeta, with Vegeta responding, that isn't the point, Kakarot. We have trained together for years, and our bond as rivals is what pushed us to come this far in our lives. And although I have no doubt that our fusion would obliterate this bastard without a trace, I want to prove to myself that I can beat Frieza's fusion alone, by using my own strength to do it and not solely rely on fusion as an escape unless we need to. I want to destroy Frieza on my own terms, Vegeta continues, in my own way, and not through some temporary means of joining bodies to do it. Not against him, Kakarot. Now, our history with him runs very, very deep, and the path to victory lies in our bond as warriors to face them alone, even if it kills us. All I can think about is how badly I want to watch him suffer, Kakarot. You could never understand the hatred that I share for him and for what he's done. So you could forget it, whether it's Vegito or Gogeta, it doesn't matter. We've come too far and have given too much to reach the levels of which we are now, only to stop now. So I say we fight them alone, no fusion. And if we die, then that's fate. And if you don't understand the meaning behind my request, then stand aside and let me do this alone. With Goku responding, man, you're really serious about this, aren't you? Well, I mean, are you sure? And I get where you're coming from and all, but this could be the one and only shot that we have at pulling this off if we do. So is that your final answer? With Vegeta responding, yes, it is. Now, are you with me or are you not? We don't have too much time left. This is every everything that we've dedicated our entire lives into, Kakarot. And if we die, then we die. But one thing is for sure, and that's if he's going to kill us, then I'm going to take a piece of that coward with me in hell. With Goku responding, well, alright Vegeta, I'm with you. And so I understand. And if we aren't going to be using fusion to stop him, then let's go all out by using everything that we're made of to finally put an end to this monster once and for all. And if we die, then I guess we'll die trying. With Vegeta responding, well, it looks like you haven't gone all soft on me after all, you clown. Then let's finish this for good. But remember, if anything were to happen to their fusion that causes them to separate, then Frieza is mine. Got it? No excuses. To which upon Goku and Vegeta now getting ready to face off against Omega Coolezia again, it was only just as the two were now shown getting ready was when Primal Goku then went on to respond, alright Coolezia, it's all or nothing, we're ready, so let's do this. With Vegeta responding, follow my lead going into this, I have an idea that just might work. With Coolezia responding, very good, and so now, are you both ready to finally die? With Beerus chiming in, now I see, very good, so they've decided to face him alone. Now this ought to be one for the ages. Oh, and how fitting it is, isn't it? Whis responds, warriors of Universe 7, students of the gods, one whom walks down the path of a destroyer and another whom walks down the path of an angel, united as one. How truly amazing. To which upon that very moment, as both Primal Ultra Instinct Goku and Master Ultra Ego Vegeta were now shown going all out, it was just as the two were now shown having to power up and exerting everything they had was when the Grand Priest went on to chime in, what a truly magnificent sight to behold. So, they have now finally decided to use everything that they are made of in order to finally rid themselves of the burden that haunts their history. Then as we watch them showcase their absolute power against this mighty fusion, we will watch and see what the outcome results in between them, as it was only right then and there now during that moment where the Beyond Dragon Ball Super Story of the Top 5 Strongest Warriors in the Multiverse manga chapter number 60 special then comes to a close. Now this is it, with our characters now having to fully understand as to what it is they need to do to slow Coolezia down. This is only now going to be the beginning of so much more to come, to which you do not want to miss out on the upcoming manga chapter, which will be that of manga chapter number 61, which will be made available right now on my Patreon for those of you out there who are members to see. So if you would not only want to support the fan manga content that you see on this channel, but also gain exclusive access to so much more, then I do encourage for all of you guys to become a member of my Patreon today, patreon.com/UnrealEndGaming, to which I will go on ahead and leave that link located down in the description box below and pinned comment section below as well, because what I do want to go on ahead now and share more light on is the concept of fusion, and that's one of the main reasons as to why Vegeta had gone as far as to decline the concept of fusion with Goku, is because it wouldn't be as personally satisfying as by having either Gogeta or Vegito be the one to destroy Coolez's fusion, and Vegeta's entire MO from the very beginning is to want to defeat this fusion by himself, specifically by going after Frieza when it's all said and done, because obviously, of course, everything is more personal, they share the most amount of history with each other, so by no means does this imply that we aren't going to be seeing fusion, especially in the sequel, because we are. So again, I cannot wait to show you guys as to what we have coming up next. So once more, I want to thank you all so much for being here, and thank you all so much for watching, to which once again, if you also just so happen to be new to this channel, that I do encourage for all of you guys to head on over and smash that subscribe button, on top of giving this video a big fat thumbs up by smashing that like button down below. Tune back in for more. Thank you all once again, and with all that being said, I will be seeing each and every single one of you down in the comment section below and in the next video. Take it easy, everybody, and have a great day. Peace.
Hello. Did you know that you can stay up to date with the latest Dragon Ball content by simply subscribing to Unreal Gaming? Also,